5 LaVerne officers were fired
and 3 others suspended after a sex scandal. Documents allege the officers had a sexual relationship with a fellow officer on duty.
Workplace violence and a girls gone wild party on a boat.
Everything from inappropriate sexual conduct, sexual harassment, lying, and word is, that's not the end of it.
Oh my God, wowee, an unbelievable story has making the social media rounds where a small police station, a small police force over in Tennessee, the LaVerne Police Department to be exact, has one female officer allegedly having crazy sexual escapades with multiple officers in the organization, having an open marriage, making her husband being a cuckold without his knowledge, apparently, allegedly, quote unquote, and having a girls gone wild party with officers on and off duty. Some of these escapades were exchanging spicy pictures with each other, having sex on duty, having sex off duty, having sex in threesomes, having sex in, or allegedly maybe orgies. I don't know what it is, but this officer was getting around the first day that she started, and apparently she even did her interview in the nude. What's crazy about this story is that many men that had these sexual relationships with her, even some of these fine established officers were in marriages, were willing to risk their pensions, their careers, and their upstanding reputation in their community, bringing in a black and blue eye to the LaVerne Police Department over there in Tennessee.
This reminds me of a situation that happened years ago as a young manager. We had a brother who was coming up through the ranks in a small corporation, and he was on the verge of having a 6-figure job at a very young age of 25. Now, I have to admit, this person was far more talented than all of us. I was a couple of years older than him, but none of us hated on him. We all understood that talent was what talent was. But this person had one major flaw. He was sexually undisciplined, and he could not say no to the young ladies who would come knowing that he was on the come up, knowing that he was the next guy, knowing that he was their meal ticket. He could not say no to the ladies in an office. So what happened? Fast forward 3 or 4 months, he got caught with someone from the mailroom in the bathroom, doing what they shouldn't have been doing. And this is why I say 100% de-discipline, sexual discipline are things that we are missing as a country today. We are suffering from arrested development because this person was a youngster in his early and mid 20s. And this is not something that we would expect a professional to do. And I know what you're saying, Grover, what does this have to do with the situation at hand? We're not talking about something that happened years ago in the corporate office. We're talking about people who are on the beat, police officers. But the truth is this: you are always expected to be professional when you are in a profession. And the fact that they were doing what they were doing on the clock, there is no other way except for them to be terminated.
So the story hits home a little bit, as you may know or may not know, that I actually was attempting to be a police officer at one point in my life. But good thing I didn't, because you know me, I love all these salacious stories, and it would take a lot out of me to try to contain myself if I was around this one Megan Hall. But then again, actually taking a look at a picture now, hey, Patrice O'Neal scale, I'm just gonna say she's below a 15. That's all I'm saying. And I know you guys are gonna come at me all wrong and stuff, so don't hate. But man, guys, risking your career for an average female like this? And in some people's books, below average. But the real point of the message in our story today is men. Don't be risking your pensions in your career over some thought cop. Because this girl, she was running afoul of her marriage, doing all sorts of things that is perceived as misconduct by the city. Now all these other men have ruined their marriages, maybe even ruined the relationships with their children, ruined their pensions, ruined their careers. And having family in law enforcement, being son of a police officer, this is really unbecoming a police officer and brings a lot of disgrace on the badge. Epic disgrace and an epic fail for the whole police force.
Now let's take a look at all of the families that are ruined. There's 6 families that are going to be ruined. Married men doing things they shouldn't have been doing, but I always say that if you're going to be that weak, you can't be weak and stupid. I have a theory that I teach my mentees, and I say, listen, you can't make a bad decision and be stupid on top of it, because a bad decision plus stupidity equals catastrophe. And this is what's happening now. All of these folks in a small town who got caught, they were professionals, they were pillars of society. What else were they doing? What else in other ways could they be trusted or not trusted?
This plain Jane, undisciplined officer who ruined her marriage and made her husband a cold is not well deserving to be on the force. And we cannot not blame the men in this situation. Cops are held to a higher standard of character, and these guys have definitely failed the character test. Unbelievable that this could have gone for so long. So is it bad to have a woman on a police force? Hell no, there's actually many good women cops out there. But how did this officer get on the police force in the first place? It makes no sense. And how did all these other men on the police force lack so much discipline? Now I can understand from time to time you're gonna put your meat where your bread is, and it's gonna happen. But the fact that this woman cop, this thought cop, had such a reputation on the force where she was having sex with multiple partners, it is just unfathomable how all these air quotes distinguished men allowed their lustful desires to get ahead of them, to go with a below average looking female officer, thought cop. I know, ladies, you're gonna get mad at me for calling her that, but it's true. Risking your career for, you shouldn't be risking your career at all. You shouldn't be putting your meat where your bread is at all. But I'm just saying. Fellas, would you? Really? Would you?
Now, someone who would do this, would you really trust them searching your vehicle? Someone who would do this with something unscrupulous, would you really trust them to be professional and conduct themselves in a way that represents the city correctly, represents the state correctly? The hardest thing that we have to realize when looking at this situation is that always we are the managers of ourselves. That young lady who had to brag about it and it got out and other people confessed to it, you are all not being the CEOs of your own person. And let's really be honest. If they had to get it on, did they have to do it at work? No, the hubris and the untouchable thought process that they feel that no one could stop them. I mean, what else could we say? It seems like that power of being a police officer, of being law enforcement, went directly to their head. I also want to say that I do have respect for law enforcement. As you get older, you realize that a lot of times there's good and bad everywhere, and it's easier to use discernment to understand that these folks are human beings, and human beings do make mistakes. However, you are never free from the consequences of your action.
Who knows if these other officers are going to be able to get a job anywhere around the nation? Do they deserve a second chance? Hey, that's not my place to decide. I'm no judge of this. And I really want to reserve my judgments. I just want to be able to get the entertainment out of the story, because we know that there was a donut hole that everyone wanted on the police force, and it was this officer. Astonishing and astounding the lack of discipline that all these individuals in this case had. And then another thing is, how did the city even hire this woman? Apparently, from some of the evidence that has been submitted into the courts, some of the statements, it has shown that she has allegedly some mental health issues, that there was complaints that people were concerned, considering she did drive drunk home from a party. From other officer statements, that's all I'm saying, from what I've gathered. And it's just amazing how her behavior went for years unchecked. But does that say something broader about our own system, about the men that were dealing with her, that they were willing to jeopardize everything that they've earned, that they've achieved, that they have accomplished, the relationships in their lives, just to get a piece of tail, to fill up those jelly donuts, or in this case, one jelly donut. And if this was Boston, I would definitely say a Boston cream pie, but this ain't Boston. So, I had to throw a corny donut joke in there. But man, she definitely was doing some team building extracurricular activities.
So what do you think about that? Ladies, gentlemen, polite savages, this has been another Tip Talk. While you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe, share this to your folks. Leave a comment. Support your local polite savage. This is G, Scotty, and I'm out.
Thank you for listening to the Tip Network. Follow us on all social medias. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Join the THPPtube memberships and the Patreon. This is Scotty and Grover. Can you handle the tip? Because we are going deep and all in.
Booty in your face.
Peace.
We found true happiness